spanning the globe to bring you the constant variety of sport, the thrill of victory, and the agony of defeat. The human drama of athletic competition.
This is Goal Opinions by Jaden Foster. Don't forget the name. I'll be the best player in the world someday. This podcast is basically about my personal opinion on lots of different players, how they play, and their technique and style. Let me get straight into it. Question 1 is, who are the top greatest players and why? Not about myself, so it's not gonna be too long. I'm all lonely because no one else watches soccer here. Man, I need to start watching stuff. Just need some sports diversity in here. Anyways, for number 10, my personal number 10 would be Pele. Now, Pele is spoken about a lot because of his 3 World Cups, I believe, and how he changed the game and how people shoot and do their technique and stuff. But back then, Pele, he had a good team. So, in my opinion, the best way to show how good you are personally is to have a bad team. Well, not a bad team, but a not so great team around you and still win big awards. Pele, he had players like Zico, Garrincha, Jairzinho, and all these other great players around him to help him score the goals he made in the 1956 World Cup against, who was it? Germany, I believe it, in the final. That's number 10 for me. Number 9, this is kind of controversial because I was thinking of 2 players, but I went with Neymar. Now, he's not so old. He still plays. I forgot his age, but he played for Santos in 2011, which is in Brazil. And in 2013, he transferred to Barcelona. And when he transferred to Barcelona, people actually knew his name. When he played, people called him Pele because of all of his techniques and his goals and his contributions to the Barcelona team. Now, I know y'all didn't watch him play, but the way he was able to move past the defenders in such a smooth way was just absolutely amazing to me. I feel like his best was in the 2015 Champions League. He was against PSG, and it was, I believe, in the first leg, and leg of a Champions League is it's a best out of 2 match on who scores the most points. So PSG had 4 goals and his team had none, and he had 3 assists and 2 goals that game, which actually it made the score 5-4, and it had him pass on through the Champions League, which actually got his team to win the award, which was absolutely amazing because, as I said before, for Pele, he had a good team. With Neymar, he didn't have a great team. It wasn't as bad as most people think it would be, but his team was decent enough to help him to at least help him with what he was doing. Now, he brought his team to the final in 2015, and they were able to win the Champions League, which that was when he won his first Champions League with Barcelona, and he won 2 more 3 or 4 years after that. That's number 9 in my opinion. Number 8, this is Didier Drogba. Now, he's from Northern Ireland, I believe, and he played for an Irish team. I don't know how to pronounce the name, but he played for an Irish team in 2007, and he transferred to Chelsea in 2008. And in his first year at Chelsea, he scored 29 goals in 36 or 37 games and 15 assists, which won Chelsea the league in 2007 in the Premier League against Manchester United and Arsenal, which were Chelsea was first, Manchester United was third, and I believe Arsenal was right behind Chelsea by 3 points. in the 2008 Champions League, he actually won, and the reason he's at eight, and the reason he is at eight, and he's above Neymar and Pele, is because he could glide through people, and he wasn't afraid to take shots far out from goal, which made him a very great player, in my opinion. He won 2008 Champions League, 2010 Champions League, 2010 Champions League before he transferred over to Fulham and played there for another 5 or 6 years and then retired after. But in the 2009 Champions League, it was a big upset for Drogba because he was going to win. He was playing against Barcelona, which was before Neymar had joined Barcelona. When he faced against Barcelona, there were fouls committed on him to grant him penalties, but those penalties were not granted. His team had the most fouls committed on them. He was getting pushed around, slide tackled, and knocked off the ball, and there were no fouls called or anything. And it was Drogba who scored the first goal to make it 1-0 against Barcelona, and then they scored 2 other goals behind him, and which granted them the 2009 Champions League. This is why he's number 8 in my list. All right, number 7. He's one of the newer gem players, but I feel like it's Kylian Mbappe. Now, lots of people know this player today because of his recent award in the 2022 World Cup, where he was able to beat Argentina 4-3. He scored 2 goals along with Pavard with a long shot and Griezmann with his penalty. 4-3. Kylian Mbappe, even though he's only 24, he's won a Champions League. He's been nominated for the Ballon d'Or, which is it's like know how in basketball how teams get those I forgot what they're called. Yeah, the rings. Yeah, it's like that. Mbappe, when he won the World Cup, he was being compared to like great players like Cristiano Ronaldo, Pele, and Neymar, as I said before. He was able to glide through the ball, but he had a new technique in order to get past players. He is the fastest player in all the leagues right now. His top speed is 37 point something kilometers per hour. And his way of being able to get past the players is by kicking it far and just pacing towards the ball, which I think is a good technique because I use this technique as well, because I don't like to do too much on the ball because I feel like it makes people come to you and be like, hey, go guard him. But he was able to make his own technique to just pace past all the players. And he made his own technique to just pace past the players. So with his ability to pace past the players, he also, I forgot the word, he utilized the ability to cut in and curve the ball into the top corner, which sounds easy to do, but it's extremely hard. Now, he's number 7, I believe. Now for number 6, this was a hard player to pick out because there are lots of other players that do the same thing as him. But for my opinion, it's Kevin De Bruyne. Now, he also is not much of an old player. He is known for his trial and I forgot what it is, but he played for Chelsea. He was kicked out the team because of how bad he was, and then he had to go to Germany in Wolfsburg, and he played good there and got signed by a Premier League team, Manchester City. When he signed for that team, people saw him for his passing abilities. Now, he could be pressured by 2 or 3 players at a time, and he can still make a pass to his teammate perfectly to at least have the other teammate try and score a goal. And not only that, when he is outside of the box of the goal, teammates can still rely on him to take shots and score. Now, I would have put Modric here, but he's not much of he can't really shoot and pace and track back as well as Kevin De Bruyne. So I feel like Kevin has a more of reliability than him. Number 5, which is bringing into the top 5 best players. Number 5 is Ronaldinho, which is Neymar's inspiration, actually. He went to the same clubs as Neymar. He started off at Santos. He moved over to Barcelona, then AC Milan and PSG. I feel like his best years were in Barcelona and AC Milan, where he could flick up the ball around players and like keep the ball on his head for a long time. He was able to take shots, weave past players, and get to the goal. Not only that, as I said with Kevin De Bruyne, Dino's passing ability was near Kevin De Bruyne's ability. Now, with Ronaldinho, he's on top of Kevin De Bruyne. He plays on the left side, so he runs up and down the wing of the field. With Dino, his teammates could pass to him up high. He would take a touch and keep the ball on the ground. They can pass him a ball to just run straight up towards the goal. His passing ability was, in his time, one of the best behind, obviously, Pirlo and all those other players back then that were in the midfield. But he was like the Neymar of the 1990s and the 2000s. Yeah, that's all for Ronaldinho. Number four, in my opinion, it's Cruyff. Now, Cruyff, he's a really old player. He played around Pele's time. Cruyff, along with Pele, they were the ones that showed their technique to play in their own way. Pele's was more towards pace and passing by players. Cruyff, he introduced a new technique, which is still used today, called the Cruyff turn, where a person would pass you the ball and you would fake it out as a pass back and then hit the ball behind you and just run down to the goal. Cruyff, he introduced the curve shot on how you can slide your ball against the foot and still get air time for the ball to curve into the top corner, which Kylian Mbappe does now. Cruyff has never won a World Cup, but I feel like he deserved to in his time. Now, number 3, my top three players, in my opinion, the third would be Diego Maradona. In most of the other sports, you should at least be tall, but this was obviously not the case for him. He won the World Cup in 1952, which was the year after Pele won his third World Cup. He was only 5'5" or 5'6", and he scored the goal against England, I believe, to win the World Cup. The goal he scored was kind of a cheat because you're not supposed to hit the ball with your hand, but what he did was he jumped up, he smacked the ball, and it went in the goal. But the linesman did not see this, so they counted the goal anyway, which kind of made his win fake. But he was still able to win the World Cup. My second player is Lionel Messi. He was around the same height as him. He's currently 5'8". He has a World Cup win. He has over 42 trophies. Has a World Cup win, 4 Champions Leagues, 8 Ballon d'Ors, 12 La Ligas, because he played in the La Liga for over 20 years until he obviously transferred to PSG, and now he is in Miami, Florida. But the reason he's number 2 is because Neymar and Cruyff and all the other players are named, he was able to slide past players, and his most famous moment was In 2009, like a year since he joined Barcelona, he passed 8 different players and scored probably the best goal of all time. But yeah, that's all Lionel Messi. Number one is the best player in the world and of all time, which is Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, Cristiano Ronaldo cannot just slide past players, but like Drogba, he was able to score incredible long shots with amazing power. In my opinion, his most famous shot is in the 2008 to 2009 Champions League against Arsenal. He was awarded a free kick after a foul, 38 yards away from the goal, and with his power shot and all the things he usually does, he was able to score from all the way back there, and it basically like slipped through the goalkeeper's hands, and that goal was the quickest goal of all time, which is numbered at like 190 to 200 kilometers per hour, which is absolutely amazing for him to do in that time. And even currently now, he scored 38 goals and 13 assists, and he's currently 39 years old, which is crazy for a person that old, and just such a hard league. But yeah, that's my top 10 best players in my opinion. I'm going to move on to Team of the Year. Team of the Year is basically the entire year's worth, and I pick out the best players from the year. So Team of the Year is basically when I choose the players that have been at their top from September of last year to July of this year. That's including the Euros and the Copa America, which ended last month. For the goalkeeper position, it's going to be Ebony Martinez, which is the Argentinian goalkeeper. He plays for Aston Villa. In a season, there is 53 games, depending on if you make it to the championship and all the other things, which he did. And he only conceded 12 goals, I believe. Yeah, 12 goals. And he has the record currently for the most time without conceding a goal, which is 620 minutes time, which has only been set by the goalkeeper that played around Pele's time, which his name is Lev Yashin. He only conceded 20 goals in his 13 years of playing, which is insane. But for a modern goalkeeper to only concede 20-something goals from September to July with all these new techniques on how to shoot and stuff is insane. My right back, which is the right side of the defense, there's not really much contenders because I haven't really heard much from right backs. But the one that stands out to me is Frimpong, because he is supposed to stay back and help defend, but he can also be relied on as an attacker because of his pace and his passing ability, on how he goes up past the defense and just makes runs, which is very good for him because obviously his transfer market value is like at least 120 million pounds, which is some of the most compared to like Mbappe, all these other big players. My two center backs, which is there will be right back on the right side, and then the two of them in the middle, and then there's a left back. My two center backs would be Pepe, which is 41 years old. The reason I chose him, the reason I chose him is because he might be old, but he was one of the main reasons beside Diego Costa, which is the goalkeeper for Portugal, why they got so far in the Euro Championship and in the Champions League of this year. He was the only person on his team to actually make a goal against Arsenal, I believe it was, in the quarterfinals, which made him move on to the semifinals, but he lost to PSG. But yeah, he's my right center back. My left center back is Rudiger. He plays for Real Madrid. He's from Germany. His team didn't win the Euros. It was Spain, I believe. But the reason I chose him is because he not only has the pace to catch up to Mbappe, which is the quickest player in the league of Ligue 1. But he is also he can also push by players like Cristiano Ronaldo, Erling Haaland, Mbappe, as I said before, and some of the new gens like Garnacho, Lamine Yamal, all those good players. My left back is Alphonso Davies. He is from Canada, but he plays in Bayern Munich currently, which is in Germany. He's like Frimpong on the left side. He can go up. He has the pace. He has the passing ability, and he also was one of the people to make a goal against Real Madrid, which could have sealed the win until Joselu scored a brace and had them go on to the finals of Champions League. My right midfielder would be Luka Modric. He's 38 years old, and it was also on my top 10 list. He might be getting old, and his pace might not be as a quick as he was as in like probably like 2 or 3 years ago. But his passing and his shots are still there. He had two of the assists in the Champions League final, which they won 2-0 to a Dortmund. And for my center midfielder is Bellingham. He's also in Real Madrid. He was a transfer in the January transfer window. He moved to Real Madrid for £175 million, and in those 5 months of him playing for that team, he scored 29 goals, which made him the top scorer in his in La Liga, the league. He helped them win the league, and he also had 38 assists, which is absolutely insane for just like one person on their own, and not even the best like Pirlo and all these other great players have not have or has not had that much since he recently joined Madrid. My left midfielder is Toni Kroos, which he also plays for Madrid. He retired at the end of the season, and he left the sport with 6 Champions Leagues, which is the most in history. He has a World Cup under his belt, which he won with Germany. And he played for 4 clubs, which is good and all, but he was still able to become the best in the entire world. Now with my attackers, my right winger would be Lamine Yamal. He's 16 years old and he's still in high school, but he plays for one of the biggest clubs in the world, which is Barcelona. People have been comparing him now to people like Neymar and Mbappe, which are the best players currently. At 16, he has 12 goals and 16 assists, which is not much, but for a person his age to be playing against 20-year-olds is very good. My left winger. All right, for my person in the left wing, it will be Marcus Rashford. He's from England. He plays for Manchester United. He didn't win any trophies this year because his team is not too good, but he will be transferring to PSG at the end of the season, which will be good for him. And my striker will be Cristiano Ronaldo. He might be old, but there haven't been much that have made the exact same amount of goals as him. He has the most goals compared to people like 24-year-old Mbappe and 22-year-old Erling Haaland. So that's my team of the year. That's it. Thank you for listening to Goal Opinions, the best podcast in the entire world. Make sure you remember the name Jaden Emmanuel Foster, because I'll be the best in the world. Thank you.
Spanning the globe to bring you the constant variety of sport, the thrill of victory, and the agony of defeat. The human drama of athletic competition.